Hi guys, I've got another video for you, and I thought I'd share with you my foundation collection, which ones work for me and which ones don't, and also I'd like to share some tips on the brushes I feel are most useful or tools which are most useful to apply them with. So um, I wanted to start by saying I'm kind of a newbie to foundation. I just started using it when I started my channel. So when I first started out, I went and bought this Royal and Langnickel multi-purpose powder brush, and it's also meant for foundation as well. And it was good, but I couldn't quite reach into like areas like the corner of my nose. So I was using like this old school, flat foundation brush, which you could find basically everywhere. But um, then I found out from Kathleen Lights recommended the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and this is awesome. I mean, sorry, it's a little dirty. I just used it right before filming, but um, I really, really love this one. And it really leaves an airbrush finish. So I used it today, and then another option is this is the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. So this is their version of the Beauty Blender. So I'll go down the line and kind of tell you which brush I prefer or tool I prefer for each foundation. So this is the Revlon Colorstay in the normal to dry, and this is the shade 180 Sand Beige. This does have SPF 20, and this is more of a liquidy type, thinner type consistency. You have like the handy pump here for application, so that's really nice. And um, I find that the coverage is more light to medium. So because, the formula is a little bit more sheer, so hence the sheer coverage. Um, I like to use the buffing brush with it. I find that that is the best way to apply it. And, um, you know, as I go along, I mean, most of these, unless I say, they're pretty much a satin finish. So, and I'm wearing that today. So I really like it. It feels weightless and pretty natural looking. So I like that. Then I have the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous in the color 110, which is creamy natural. And this is more of a medium to full coverage, but like pretty much more of a medium. A little bit thicker formula, and this is in a squeeze tube, as you can see. Um, so I like this formula, and as well, I do like using it with the buffing brush. And I like this for a little bit more coverage, so that's the one I kind of choose for more coverage. Then I have the Revlon Colorstay Whipped. So this is more of a moussey type formula, and this is in the color 240 Natural Beige. So probably at the edge of what my shade range should be, but I think I could still pull it off. And it's more of a moussey type texture, and you have the jar. I don't love the fact that you have to dip your finger or your brush into the jar because it's not the most sanitary, but um, because it is a moussey type formula, it's not as drying. So if you have more mature skin, it's meant to be more moisturizing. Um, but for this one, actually, I do like using the beauty sponge, and this is kind of the only one of the range that I really prefer using the beauty sponge over any brush. But it shears it out a little bit, and I like it better that way. When I use the buffing brush, then it just kind of it still feels heavy on my face, and I don't love that. With foundations, I like the coverage to be about medium, and I don't want to feel it on my face afterwards. I just I can't. I have to like take it off immediately if I feel it like that. So it's that's my personal preference. So the next one I want to talk about is the Hard Candy Glamoflauge foundation, and I was excited about this one because I love their concealer so much, and a lot of their products actually. This one is in the shade 931 Fair, and so you have a nice little pump, and I'll just clean it off a little bit. So, so that's convenient, and I I have to say this one is like the only matte one I found, and it was kind of tricky. I found that it was so streaky when I was putting it on with my fingers, when I was putting it on, with other brushes. It just felt streaky. Like I couldn't even it out. Even with the beauty sponge, I thought, what am I gonna do? And I did find that with the buffing brush, it does it does look even, but it's a little bit more matte than I want in a formula. So I'll have to kind of see. In an upcoming video, I will show you drugstore and high end my preferences for hydrating, like glowy type primers or things that you can, or liquid highlighters that you can add to a foundation, and show you, which ones I prefer for these top 5 foundations of what I'm talking about right now. So, so this one I would say is a full coverage foundation. That one and the Revlon Colorstay Whipped, these are both pretty much on par with each other as far as coverage. Um, and then the last of the top 5 that I have is the Wet n Wild Coverall foundation, and this one is in the shade Fair Light 816. So this one is also kind of like at the edge of the color that I should have. Um, so it's like, it kind of matches, but maybe not so much in the wintertime. But so I was kind of surprised because this is like, it goes on, it's super light, and it's kind of thin. And I would say that these two, the Revlon Colorstay Normal to Dry and the Wet n Wild Coverall, are comparable because the formulation is very similar. They're both pretty thin and watery. Maybe not as much as a tinted moisturizer, but more so than most of them. And you could probably get by with putting these on with your fingers, like even if you didn't have a brush. Um, so that's kind of interesting to know. But this one, for the fact that it gave me only light to medium coverage, I didn't like it. For some reason, it settles into my fine line, so it's not really my choice. If you don't have that type of issue, and maybe if you have oilier skin, um, you might like this one. But for me, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I don't know if I would repurchase it. So then moving down the line, it's mostly tinted moisturizers. So this one is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Sheer tinted moisturizer in 184A in buff. Now, I bought this a while back, and that was before I started reacting to actinoxate, and I thought, this is great. Definitely light coverage. It's a tinted moisturizer, but for the fact that it's like $3.99, um, you know, can't really complain about the cheap packaging. But since I can't wear that anymore, it does have SPF 15 in it as well. But since I can't wear that anymore, then um, you know, I would pass this along. But and then I got the NYX Tinted Moisturizer. Well, I saw that it's no longer carried by Ulta, so I see that it's still available on NYX's website, so not sure about that. Maybe it's because they realized that the shade range is a little off. Like, this is supposed to be one of the later ones. This is in the shade Buff. Now, it's a good, like, probably 3 shades darker than my skin tone. So if you are, you know, about 3 shades darker than I am or darker, you probably will find shades in this range that would really suit you. You know, formula wise, I didn't see a problem with it. I mean, I tried to apply it just to see what the formula was like, but obviously this is not a match for me. So, you know, I'd have to pass this along. But so definitely if you're um, paler than I am or my skin tone, like this wouldn't work for you. So, and then the last one I wanted to talk about is the CoverGirl CG Smoothers. And I guess this is meant to be a foundation. I found this was super runny, and this struck me as a tinted moisturizer type of formulation. Like it was super sheer, but this is the shade 715 Natural Ivory, and this may be a hair light for me. Um, but I can't wear this because for some reason it broke me out. I don't even know what ingredient was bothering me, but this was even before I started reacting to actinoxate, so I don't even know. But I wanted to take it off the minute I put it on my face, so that was a miss. But I wouldn't even give this to someone else because like I don't even know what was bothering me about it. Um, but you know, so the tinted moisturizers, yes, you could definitely put on with your fingers. But I hope that you found this video helpful. At least if you were looking at, you know, similar products and wondering, you know, how to get the best use out of them and what tools to use, I hope that you found this helpful. So you can follow me on Facebook at For Real Beauty for updates. And please subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.